I'm going to tell you about the most boring way to make money as a photographer. It's not trendy. It's not sexy. It's not the thing people are posting about on Instagram. It's selling wall portraits and albums and premium printed products. But here's the thing. This boring business model works better than anything else, even if you're just starting out. Do the math. If you want to make $100,000 with your photography, you kind of have two options. You can be high volume and photograph 500 clients at $200 as an average, or you can photograph 50 clients at $2,000 each. Which one sounds easier? 500 clients or 50 clients? Hey, I'm Sarah Petty. I run a boutique portrait photography business, and I teach photographers how to sell printed artwork instead of digital files. People don't need more digital files. And today I'm going to show you why this boring model makes money even if you're just starting out. Let's talk about why wall portraits feel boring compared to digital files. Digital files feel sexy, right? They're fast, they're easy. Everyone's doing it. You take pictures, you edit, you send a gallery link, you collect a couple $100 and you post the pretty images on Instagram. Looks like the easiest way to start a photography business. Wall portraits, they feel old school, complicated, like something your grandmother would want. They're not trendy. They're not getting likes on social media. And worst of all, they require you to actually educate your clients instead of just throwing digital files at them. But everyone has lost sight of the fact that it isn't about digital files. It's about the feeling people get when they look at a wall portrait of the people they love. Digital files sit on a phone or a hard drive. Wall portraits hang in your home and make you feel something every single day. If you're a beginner thinking, oh, wow, this sounds great, but how do I even do this? Here's where to start. First, you want to show clients what's possible. All you need is one large wall portrait as a sample to give your clients scale. So I have my students order an unstretched canvas so they can roll it up, take it places, unroll it, and show their clients. The key is if you want to sell big, you've got to show big. Second, you need confidence. And confidence doesn't come from being the best photographer. It comes from having a system that's smooth and easy for the client. A system that serves your clients well will go further than any photography skills. Let me tell you about Julie. Julie's my first big client who invested $1,800 in wall portraits. And honestly, the images weren't even that great, but she was thrilled because I served her well. I had a system. I knew how to help her see what was possible with her brand new baby that she loved so much. And once I saw how thrilled Julie was, I started to chase that high. Not the high of the money, but the high of thrilling my clients. Imagine following a system, thrilling a client, and having them give you thousands of dollars and hug you and gush on you. That's what this boring model does. Here's why this model works, even if you're just starting out. It begins by looking at what you want to make. Most people don't do this. They just jump in. So if you're saying, gosh, I'd love to make $100,000 part-time. I love that. How do you do that? Well, you can serve 500 clients at $200, like I talked about, or 50 clients at $2,000. Which one is going to give you more time with your family? Which one sounds less exhausting? A lot of people think, well, I'll just start out with digital files and I'll grow my business at a loss and then someday I'll charge what I need to. But the thing is, you're building your business on sand and it's not going to last. So when you try to convert them from being a fast food customer to a high-end sit-down restaurant customer, it's so much of a bigger challenge than just learning to attract the right clients into your well-oiled business in the first place. Once you make this decision, I want fewer clients, let's say 50 at a higher average, let's say 2,000, which can just go up from there. Your next step is to figure out, how do I create enough value so people will pay me what I need and want to make? That's where a system comes in. Here's what keeps photographers stuck. They think they need to be amazing photographers to offer wall portraits in the thousands. They need to have the perfect style, the perfect gear, the perfect portfolio. But really, this is about your passion and a really good system. And if you add a system to passion, anything is possible. James Clear said in Atomic Habits, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Ooh, that's so good. So many people build up head trash about not being good enough when the truth is they don't have systems that are focused on serving the client. And here's what isn't obvious. While everyone who knows someone who's a good photographer, most photographers don't know how to help their clients decorate their homes with large printed artwork. That's the gap. And if you can learn that, your orders will go crazy. So when you position yourself as an interior decorator, guiding your clients on where they can hang these large wall portraits in their homes, you're no longer a commodity photographer who's just taking pictures in digital files. You're taking a step further and serving your clients in such an elevated way. By the way, if you're finding this helpful, make sure to subscribe to my free weekly newsletter where I share even more strategies like these. The link is in the description below. Now, you might be thinking, who's going to pay $2,000 for wall portraits? Because I asked myself the same thing. And of course, it helps if your target audience has disposable income. But think about it. People spend money on tons of things every month, on travel, on their homes, on experiences. The question is, are you positioning yourself as someone worth spending money on? Let me tell you a story. Because I used to think I needed to market to the wealthiest neighborhood. So I went to this golf course, brand new golf course in a really, really nice area. And I couldn't ever get a client from there. And as I talked to them, I realized they were something we call house poor. Big house, but no money to even pay for the furniture. They were over leveraged. Then I found a new subdivision that was a bit of a step down, but still very nice. It wasn't the fanciest, but those were the best clients. I was getting referred because they weren't spending every penny they had. They had boats, they traveled, they had disposable income, and those were my clients. For me, I target people with 2-income households. People who are spending money on their homes and their families. That's who I love to work with. That's really my bread and butter, because if people have 2 incomes coming into the family, likely they have some extra money to decorate their house with. Now that you know who's buying the wall portraits, here's the step that actually makes the sale happen. And that is meeting with the client before the session. Most people think this meeting is to plan the location and what we'll all wear, but that's not even why we meet. This step is the most important step, and it's a non-negotiable for me. This is when we plan the entire session and we talk about the products that they're wanting to purchase. Not doing this would be like sitting down to get your hair styled and cut or colored without talking to the stylist. What color, what cut, what are you wanting? We're not just planning a photo session. We're planning what's going on their walls. So if I'm photographing for one really killer wall portrait, I'm going to photograph differently than if I'm photographing for an album. So I need to know up front what we're doing. Selling wall portraits is boring. It's not trendy. It's not flashy, but it works for everyone. It works for beginners. It works for experienced photographers. It works for people who don't have the fanciest gear or the biggest portfolio. It works because it's a system that serves clients, and clients will pay for that. You don't need 500 clients to make 6 figures. You need 25 to 75, and you get there by educating your clients, by meeting with them before this session and showing them what's possible. Listen, friend, if you want a shortcut and you want to learn the exact system that I created to sell wall portraits so easily and build a profitable photography business, book a call with my team and we'll show you exactly how to do it.